Hey, mamas. You know what? We talk about coming out and we think about coming out, and we don't often think about after we've come out or, how coming out affects people once we're out. So, you know what? Here are three thoughts about coming out, to the people in your world. Okay? So, number one, ladies, coming out's a one-way trip. Okay? It is a one-way thing. Now, I remember, it's a story about my grandfather. Years ago, when he still drove, he's 97 now, so this is obviously a long time ago, he went to the doctor for something. And it was like, oh, doctor, I'm having this problem here or there, or whatever. And the doctor's like, oh, okay. Okay. And she checks him out. And then it's like, hey, can I see your driver's license? And he's like, oh, okay, here you go. And she's like, I'll be taking that. And he was like, what are you doing? You can't drive anymore. Yeah, what you just told me, you can't drive anymore. I'm sorry. He cussed her ass out, and he's cussed her out, behind her back so many days since. And let me tell you, he's gone to the DMV. He has never gotten that driver's license back. That's what it's like with your man card, ladies. Once you sit down with your family and you're like, I'm a girl, or even I'm just a cross-dresser, it's like, oh my God, Sydney, Justin, whatever, that's so wonderful. I'm so glad you told me. I'm so glad you're living your authentic self. Oh, that's such a beautiful picture of you. Oh my goodness. Hey, can I see your man card? I'll be taking that. You're not getting it back. That's it. Now, I'm pretty happy. I'm totally happy with that decision. I'm not saying how to do it, but that's how it is, okay? Number two, you know what? When you come out to people, just because they're supportive and affirming and friendly and like, oh yeah, I totally, whatever makes you happy. We don't judge all this kind of stuff. That doesn't mean that they don't really think you're nuts and talk shit about you when you're not around. Okay, it doesn't mean that. Now, sometimes they're totally supporters and they're sticking up for you when you're not around. Not always. Okay, not usually. So just because they're supportive and affirming and all that stuff doesn't mean they don't think you're crazy. It doesn't mean that they don't really think, I'm not even sure this person really is transgender or whatever. Okay? Number three, support does not equal belief. Because you have people in your world that are totally supportive of you. Totally supportive. Okay? That does not mean that they believe that you are a woman or that they believe that you are transgender. Because maybe people, they agree with transgenderism in theory, but now you're telling them you're transgender and they're remembering your whole life and they're thinking, I don't know, Justin says he's transgender. I'm not so sure that he really is. I think that this is a phase or whatever. He's gone through kooky phases before, and I have, but they're not so sure. Okay, so it doesn't mean that they totally believe it. Take those thoughts for what they are. Love you, sisters.